सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Chant along with me. Kardebihi. Om Bhadran Karnebihi
विशृणुयाम देवाः भद्रम्
Go ahead and mute yourselves, please.
Vaidyanathanji after the initial one.
Om Bhadran Karnebihi Shrunuyama Devaः Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraः Sthirairangaistuštuvagum Sastanubhihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vruddhashravah Swasti na Pusha Vishvavedah Swasti nastarksho arishtanemiः Swasti no brihaspatirdadhatu Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. So we have to resume from mantra number 5, which is in your page number 15 notebook, or page 17 of the Gita Press. Tatra
परा
Rigvedo Yajurvedaha
ऋग्वेदो यजुर्वेदः
Samavedo Tharvavedaha
सामवेदो अथर्ववेदः
Shiksha Kalpo Vyakaranam Niruktam
शिक्षाकल्पो व्याकरणं निरुक्तम्
Chando Jyotishamiti
छन्दो ज्योतिषमिति
Athapara
अथ परा
Yaya Tadaksharamadigamyate.
यया तदक्षरम् अधिगम्यते
Again, Tatra Param
तत्रापरा
Rigvedo Yajurvedaha
ऋग्वेदो यजुर्वेदः
Samavedo Tharvedaha Samavedo
सामवेदोऽथर्ववेदः
Tharvavedaha
सामवेदोऽथर्ववेदः
Shiksha Kalpo Vyakaranam
शिक्षाकल्पो व्याकरणम्
Niruktam Chando Jyotishamiti
निरुक्तं छन्दो ज्योतिषमिति
Athapara
अथ परा
Yaya Tadaksharamadigamyate.
यदा तदक्षरमधिगम्यते
Yeah. So continuing with our study here, mantra number 4. Tasmai saha ha uvacha. Tasmai Shaunakaya. Saha Angiraha. I think we remember who the teacher and student are, right? Angiraha Uvacha. Unto that student Shaunaka, Shishyaya, Saha Angiraha, who is the Guru in this story, in this context, Uvacha, Dve Vidye Veditavye, two types of knowledge have to be known. In other words, the whole entire field of knowledge that the human being can know is divided into two. And para cha eva aparacha. Para vidya and apara vidya. He introduced the two. Just a statement he makes. And Shankara already introduced, even though the teacher did not say para. Shankaracharya in the earlier shloka says, the Bhaashyam it says Paramatma Vidya. Para. Apara is what? Dharma, dharma, sadhana, tat pala vishaya. Any knowledge of cause and effect is apara, and that which is the knowledge of Paramatma, which implies by the definition of apara that it is not subject to cause and effect, which means that which is anyatra dharmat, anyatra dharmat from Katopanishad, that which is beyond dharma and adharma, that which is beyond the three periods of time, all that will come under Paravidya. Like that he introduced. So now here the Upanishad is listing, Aparavidya is listing a bunch of things that are well known to Vedikas. Okay. So what is he saying? I'll give you a gist right now and explain to you. And then we'll come to the Bhaashyam. Tatra. Tatra means in this context. Let me tell you what apara is. Tatra apara. Tatra apara means what? Tatra apara vidya. Tatra apara vidya. Here is a list of things. Rigvedaha, Yajurvedaha, Samavedaha, Atharvavedaha. So these are the four Vedas. He lists all of that and he puts that in the category of what? Not Paravidya, but Aparavidya. Okay, we'll discuss that. Generally, when we come to Vedanta, we will say, even in Katopanishad, we saw something similar. Shreyascha, Preyascha, we saw. And we discussed Paravidya, Aparavidya. And we said Apara Vidya is all Vidya which a human being can come to know by through what means of knowledge? Through the means of knowledge given to us. Perception is there. All science is based on perception, inference, analysis. Perception, analysis, inference. Perception, analysis, inference. And proof. You have to prove everything. And that a human being can do. Okay. That which a human being cannot figure out by oneself, doesn't matter however smart the person is, that should come under Aparavidya. For example, what? For example, karma, punyam and papam. Can't figure out. Punyam and papam cannot be figured out by the human being. Some guess also may not be possible. May not be possible. And some people might say, there's more to it than simply all these transactions. People can make such statements. But Veda has to come and say there is something called Punyam and Papam. There is something called Swarga. Science cannot prove it. And science cannot disprove it also. As much as we are all waiting to disprove the Swarga, they can't disprove also. But these are all reasonable beliefs. They are not unreasonable beliefs. They are beliefs, okay? They are beliefs. Why they are beliefs? Because you can't prove it. Can't prove it. You can't prove it. Then it cannot come into the category of jnanam. But since for us, Veda is Mata for us, and we take what she says as true, as good as a fact, as good as a fact. Okay, so Apaurusheyam Veda Paravidya. Okay, this is how we understand Paravidya when we begin studying Veda. And of course, it talks about the final grand equation, Mahavakyam, there's no chance of figuring out. Tattvamasi, there's no chance a human being can even guess. Tattvam na asi, we can say. Tattvam na asi, you can say. Ishvara is different, I am different, everybody is different in this world. Dvaita, we are all living in Dvaita only. Dvaita is real, that's it. Beyond this reality, we can't go anywhere. So when Veda comes and says these things, we put Veda in the category of Apaurusheyam. Apaurusheyam means what? Not authored by a human being. Not only not authored, cannot be authored by a human being. All the rituals the Vedas talks about, there is no chance of a human being figuring it out. We only thing we can do with the Veda is follow what the Veda says. Therefore, we put the Veda in the category of what? Paravidya. This is how we understand. We begin our understanding. Now, this Mundakopanishad is stretching our understanding even further. It's saying that this Rigveda, Chaturveda is, don't put it under Paravidya category, put it under what? Aparavidya. Aparavidya means objective sciences. Objective mathematics, physics, chemistry, psychology, physiology, botany, medical science, every science, put it under. Even though we have Adhisthana Devatas, the Ishta Devata, the Adhisthana Devata of medicine is Dhanvantari. Okay. The Adhisthana Devata of strength, Balam, is Indra Devata. Like this, for every aspect of this, our life, our understanding of the world, we have an Adhisthana Devata. But still, it is Aparavidya. All right. So he says, put four Vedas under Aparavidya category. And I have to now scratch my head because I don't know. Then what comes under Paravidya, he's going to tell later. All right. Then he's listing a few more things. Shiksha Kalpo Vyakaranam Niruttam Chando Jyotishamiti. Study the Vedas, there is something that comes along with the Vedas. To understand the Veda, because it's in a Sanskrit language, Sanskrit, and to understand that whole body of knowledge, we need several disciplines. Several disciplines are needed, and that is being listed here. What are those disciplines are called Vedangas, Vedangani, like that in Sanskrit they say. Here the Upanishad is not saying it, but they are called Vedangas, Anga. The Anga of the Veda. Anga of the Veda means what? Supportive fields of knowledge, auxiliary fields of knowledge which are required to understand the Veda itself. Okay. And what is that? Shiksha. So it's a six sanghas are there. That's well known. So Shiksha, Kalpaha, Vyakaranam, and Niruttam, Chandas, Jyotisham, like that. This is well known among the Vedic community. And so Shiksha is the first one. Shankaracharya is not going to explain any of these words. Shiksha is this and all. He doesn't say. I don't think he says all that. Right. Vyakaranam, Santu, Jyotisham, Shadasham. Yeah, that's it. So he just goes straight to Yayata Dakshanam Adhigamyate. So let's talk a little bit about Shiksha. Okay. The science of pronunciation is called Shiksha. Pronunciation of Sanskrit language. Okay. Because this whole thing is written in Sanskrit. And so Devanagari and Sanskrit. Devanagari is Lipi. It can be written in any Lipi. But the language is Sanskrit. And so science of pronunciation, also called as phonetics. Phonetics. All right. How do you pronounce words? How do you pronounce letters? Pronunciation of words comes from pronunciation of letters. You should know how to pronounce. A, B, C, D, E means you should know. The child is taught. So here also we are taught. Okay. All right. But then there it is how to pronounce this is also codified in language. So Panini and other Maharshis have actually written in sutra form how these things should be pronounced. For example, I'll give you an example. Akuha visarjaniyanam kantaha. First sutra. All our people who studied these things should know all these things. Means the people who studied Bhaashyam and all. Akuha visarjaniyanam kantaha means what? A. You know the letters, right? What are the letters? A, I, U, etc. Till all the way till ya, ra, la, va, sha, sa, ha. All right, you know all the letters. But now you can even say it differently. I, un, rilik, e, ong, I, ouch, hayavara, tillan, nyamangana, nam, shashasar, nyamangana, nam, sorry. And then kapa, chata, ta, chata, tau, kapai, shashasar, hal. Same thing. Your I said in a different way. Why did you say like this? That's because it is because this is a fantastic science which in which they have ordered. This is called Iti Maheshwarani Sutrani. It seems Shiva danced and he just played the Damaru, and from the Damaru came these words, came these letters. This is it. Okay. Nrittavasane Nataraja Rajo, like this, there is a shloka that talks about all this. Okay. I don't want to go there. So then, this letter, why you are organizing it like this? Then that science, this this particular Panini's Ashtadhyayi relies on this order, and he is going to use this particular order of letters. E doesn't exist in this Panini Sutra. It is just reordered, and he is going to use that order in his sutras. All right. That is just by the way. So I come back to Akuha Visarjaniyanam Kantaha. He says, there are the, look at these letters. A means A also. A. Then Ku. Akuha. Ku is what? Ku is a short form for K, K, G, G, Ng. Ku. That's called Ku. Tu means what? Ta, ta, da, dha, na. Pu is what? Pa, pa, bha, bha, ma. All right. Ku. 6 letters are covered. Or is same category. All right. Ku, ha. Ha is ha. Then Visarjaniyaha. Visarjaniyaha is the 2 dots. Visarga in Sanskrit. Akuha Visarjaniyanam Kantaha. Hey, you have to, we are going to call this Akuha Visarjaniyanam as, are letters who are called as Kantaha, which means what? Letters that are going to come from your throat, primarily from your throat. Ka, when you say this particular organ is going to get activated, it is going to come from there. All right. Then what is the next group of letter? Ichu Yashanam Taluhu. Ichu. These grammar people love all these things. They get lost in grammar. They will forget the Veda, they will forget Upanishad, Ahabrahmasmi and all gone. They will get lost in this grammar. Really, it's very exciting. It's very intoxicating. It's like Bodha. If you get into it, no, just get lost. That's it. What happened? Did you study Upanishad and all? Yeah, I studied Upanishad. Fantastic. There's too much, a lot of analysis. What analysis are you doing? Sanskrit, of course, they will say. Hey, Upanishad is not supposed to be studied for Sanskrit. Either way, we love the Sanskrit, but not. Anyway, Ichu Yashanam Taluhu. Talu means Talavya. Talavya means palatal, palate. You know, the tongue is there here, and then the upper roof of the mouth. The tongue has to touch the, just touch. Cha. Take a look. Cha. Compare it against ka. Ka and cha. Cha means the tongue has to go towards the roof of the mouth, towards the roof. It's called talavya. So, E is a talavya letter. Then, Ichu. Chu is what? Cha, cha, ja, ja, nya. Ichu. Got it? Everybody good so far? Guruji, I came here to study Upanishad. What to do? Upanishad is saying shiksha, no? Shiksha ka shiksha karna hai ya nahi? I have to teach shiksha. So a little bit, you have to know all these things. Ichu ya, yara lava, that ya, shanam, sha also, sha, sha, saha, that first sha, okay, that sha, shiva sha, ichu yashanam taluhu. These are all called talu letters, talabhyaha or taluhu. Like that they have. I'll just go tell you the other ones, okay. Ichu yashanam taluhu. Next, what is the letter? Takar, tais has to come, right? So, ritu rashanam murdha, r, da, tha, da, dharna. What is the difference? Ta means what? Your tongue is turning like this. Your tongue is turning upwards, and then the tip of the tongue is touching the roof of the mouth. Ritu. And therefore, they are called murdha. Murdhanya means what? Cerebral sounds. And it's going towards the brain, it seems. Going means what? The tongue is pointing towards the top of the, towards the head it is pointing. They're called murdha. Murdhanya means uh, cerebral. Murdha. Ritu Rashana Murdha. Then what? L tu la sa nam danta. Danta, dental. Dental. Da, 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 na. Dental. Look at that. The teeth have to come close and the tongue has to cooperate with the teeth. Pa, pa, ba, ba, ma. That is called what? Upu Padmaniyanam Oshtaha. They're called Oshtaha. They're called labial sounds. Labial. Lips. Children find it hard to do it. That's why children, when they grow up, they'll say pa, 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 they will say ma, 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 they'll say, and the other words will come, ta and all will come much later because it requires more coordination. Sometimes they'll say ta, 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 ta. Ka and all, no chance. Ka might come much later. There is some science to that because some things require a little more coordination. It take a little longer for the child to learn those sounds. Da, da out of question because the tongue has to go up. Correct? It has to point up. Anyway, this is the idea. Like this, there are a bunch of sutras. This is called Shiksha. Science of pronunciation, phonetics, also called phonetics. All right. Kalpaha, the know-how of performing rituals, the science of performing rituals, called Kalpaha. And so this society, because of his view of Punarjanma and Punyam Papam and all that, they try to influence the Punyam Papam. They say, I want to get more Punyam. Why give up that idea? I know what is Dharma and Adharma in this life. That I know. But then Veda is talking about Punyam Papam. I have to somehow account for that. Therefore, it became a very evolved culture which had a lot of yajna and homa in it. And so that science of constructing the Homa Kunda and then on the entire ritual process is called Kalpaha. Kalpa. Most likely, it was the Kalpa that made our people become mathematicians. Why? Because they had to, there are ways in which you have to construct this Homa Kunda. This particular shape must be there, etc. So they were very much into all these shapes. Okay. This is called Kalpaha. Next. Vyakaranam. Vyakaranam. Grammar, roughly translated as grammar. The science of building words from roots. The science of building words from roots. Called Vyakaranam. V-akr. Vyakr. Building. So in Sanskrit, this idea is there in all Indian languages, but maybe in some other languages also. But the science is mastered and perfected in Sanskrit. Whole science. You go to Google and you go to any website like this ashtadhyayi.com or go to indriya.fr and you go and type these words, and they are using this science. They have the entire language codified through codified, and so from the root, like gum. Gum means to go. That is the root. Okay. Then all other words start coming. Gachati, goes. Okay. Agatam, I went. Ganta, goer. Okay. Gantavyam, must, we must go. Okay. To be gone to. Like this, all Gamishyati, will go. All these words are all created. There is a science to create these words. Other languages also, it is there like that. जा जाता हूँ, जा रहा है, जाऊंगा. Like these words are there. It's all from जाओ, no? जाओ, same root only it is. But this is more sophisticated, and there are rules. In Hindi, there is no rule. The rule is understood, implicitly understood. There is no book of rules like that. But here, rules are there, which will you can develop it into an algorithm. That is why so many websites are there that can just generate the language. Okay, because they have figured out the algorithm. They have figured out all these rules. All right. So this is called Vyakaranam. Vyakaranam means to construct, to build. Like you build a house with all parts. So many things are needed. You bring it all together from bricks and cement and this electrical um, things and so forth, appliances and whatnot. A house is built. Like that, you build this language. Exactly like in chemistry. Chemistry also is exactly like this. Somebody says water. Where is water? Yeah, this is water. Please drink water. Water. Somebody says pani. Somebody says tanni. Neer. Jalam and all they will say. Jal. That is all fine. They're all words in different languages. Somebody comes and says it is H2O. My God, what is this new language you're talking about? Well, that language is what this language is. You bring two hydrogens and one oxygen. That is called water molecule. This what I described just now is exactly like that. You bring roots. Those roots, I said there are 2000 plus roots. Only 2200 roots are there in Sanskrit. Only, that's it. And from that, the entire universe of words has come. So that's just to give you an example. That only there are some, how many elements are there? I don't know these days in chemistry. So those days when I studied, it was 108 or 110. And now it must be 120, something like that. They're still discovering all these elements. And so, exactly like that. All right. Niruktam. Niruktam. Vyakaranam is the formation of all words that we use in the language. But then this Vedic language is somewhat unique. And there are some words in the Vedas which are not used in our transactions and in our writing, human writing. So Vedic writing, there are some words, and the derivation of those words are described in this book, in this work called Niruktam. So what is Niruktam? Etymology or derivation of Vedic words. That is Niruktam. All right, Niruktam. Next, Chandas. Chandas. So we know what Chandas is. Chandas is called the particular way of chanting our shlokas, especially metrical shlokas are there. Those not prose, but if it is not in prose, it's in poetry form. Means like in Bhagavad Gita, it's always in metrical form. Yajurveda is prose, but Rigveda is metrical. So once you say metrical, then you have to start saying what are the different meters. And those meters are called chandas. Anushtup chandaha, Trishtup chandaha, Gayatri, Ushtup, Anushtup, Brihati, Pankti, Trishtup, Jagati. Like that, when we do Sandhya Vandanam, we chant some of these names. But there are many chandas. Many chandas that I don't know also. Many, many chandas are there. Some people know a lot of chandas. And so that particular uh, They use the word prosody, Prosody. That is called Chandas. So it makes the Veda capable of chanting, or in the case of Samaveda, singing. That is the beauty of Chandas. If we are able to memorize the entire, if a child is able to memorize the Bhagavad Gita, how memorization is possible? That poetic nature of it makes it. We used to remember all these movie songs when we were growing up. Their movie songs come faster than shlokas. And why? Because it's all there. It's just metrical, raga is there, and music is there, and then it makes you go this way and that way. So it all goes into the head. So all those are things that help us memorize. And here Veda, because it is all Karna Parampara, everything was in memory only. Just memory. So therefore, this Chandas is very important. If we are studying the Veda today, it's because of Chandas. People have retained it in their heads. All right. Chand. Chand means to please. The word root Chand in Sanskrit means to please. Does anybody recall from Kathopanishad the word Chand? Okay, it suddenly comes to me. Suddenly comes to me. This, when Nachiketa asked Yama for tell me about Atma, tell me about next life and all that, Yama was discouraging Nachiketa from going there, going to the topic of Atma. This is not meant for all these. Indra and also struggled a lot with it. So you are going in the wrong direction. I'll tell you what, I'll make you a king, and I'll make you the king of, you choose what size of kingdom you want, you choose. How long you want to live, you that also you choose. Everything he says. And he says, he offers all these things. And then he says, Chandataha prarthayasva. Prarthayasva means you request. Chandataha, as your mind pleases. Just as it comes to the mind, just tell it. Don't worry that, oh, I will think that, oh, how come this guy is so raw, all these things he's asking and all that. No, no, no. I want you to just go, let loose. That is called Chandataha Prastayasva. Here also, this comes to my mind. Chandati means pleasing. So that would make something pleasing. To please is called Chand. Anyway, that's by the way. Jyotisham. Jyotisham. Okay, astrology and astronomy combined is called Jyotisham. Not just astrology. Astronomy also is Jyotisham. And so the British played a game on us. And then they made us believe that they took all the astronomical sciences from us. Okay. We knew all these distances to the moon and sun and things like that. The distance to the moon, okay, it's absolutely amazing. The distance to the moon is 108 times the diameter of the moon. Distance of the earth to the sun is 108 times the diameter of the earth. Earth or moon, I think. Maybe it is, earth, sun. Sun's diameter is there. And 108 times you get the distance between earth and sun. And this number is uncanny. It is correct to the 108. Today's science says it is 109 or 108.5, like that is. Mind-boggling. They figured all these things. How? Jyotisham. They were experts in Jyotisham. They were not simply stargazers. They had their own sciences. So our Raj Vedam talks about it. We recently finished conducting a course on this. Bharatiya astronomy. Okay? All that is Jyotish. But they made us believe that astronomy belongs to the West, and you people keep astrology with you. Astrology means what? Some funny predictions you all make, you keep making those predictions. Anyway, that's not correct. Astrology plus astronomy is Jyotisham. Jyotihi means all the luminaries in the sky, represented by that Jyotihi. Jyotish. Jyotishastram is equal to Jyotisham. So grahas, these luminaries are also called grahas. Suryadinam grahanam. Graham means that planet and celestial objects there. So we also have Navagrahas and all. So they have spent a lot of time on this. And so, this is Jyotisham. All right. And with comma, you should add all other sciences. All the sciences that you and I have studied, which does not fall in this category. All the degrees we have, BS in, BS. It's not BS here means here it is Aparavidya. And so Aparavidya is everything. Everything we have studied, which includes all these things, all of which help in understanding the Veda. Correct? Our knowledge of whatever degrees we have does help. Because communication is there and you have to follow, you have to process it. If I say grammar, you understand grammar. And if I say chemistry, I can use the word chemistry and I can use the example of H2O because all of you understand it. So everything is useful and everything is aparavidya. The surprise is that the four Vedas are also falling in this category. Okay. I used to think paravidya is Vedas. Until I studied Mundakopanishad, I got a shock of my life. You can imagine. Okay. That's how. And then I had to scratch my head, and then I said, let me keep studying, and then maybe you learn something like that. I told myself. Anyway, then atha para. Atha para. Then moving on further, para yaya tadaksharam adhigamyate. He doesn't list anything, no word, no book, no author, nothing he says. Yaya. Yaya means what? Yaya vidyaya. That knowledge by which. That knowledge by which. Okay. And then by which what? Tad aksharam adhigamyate. That aksharam is known. That's all he says. She says, Upanishad says. That aksharam. That which does. Aksharam is what? Kshara means decline, dissipate, perish, perishable. Okay. All fruits are called phalam. Why phalam? Phalgudaya liyate iti. Means it is of the nature of perishing. That's why it's called phalam. That's why karma phalam, perishing. Karma phalam. Finite. So finite means it will perish. So he says here, aksharam, that which doesn't perish at all. That unperishable aksharam, within brackets, Brahma. That which is Brahma is understood is called, that knowledge through which Brahma is understood is called Paravidya. Okay? We're going to leave it at that. Aksharam has many meanings. What are the meanings of Aksharam? Hey, the alphabetic letter is called Aksharam. Why it's called Aksharam? Because the letter is the ultimate thing. You can break down sentences into words, words into letters. Letters cannot be broken down for this. That is why the letter is called Aksharam. And of course, the other meaning here is Aksharam. Brahma is also called Aksharam. And sometimes Maya is called Aksharam. Maya. Objectum is called Aksharam. And so a reference for you would be chapter 15, shloka 16, 15.16. Dvavimau purushau loke kshara eva cha kshara sarvani bhutani kutasto kshara uchyate. Like that shloka talks about. Ksharam means the whole world of things, which is all declinable, which will all decline, which is perishable. Then Aksharam. What is Aksharam? Maya. There. Then there is then the Uttama Purushastvanyaha is going to tell later. Hey, that which is different from Kshara and Akshara, that is Purusha, that is Brahma. Like that he's going to say later, that 15th chapter. But so here Akshara means Brahma. That's it. All right. So this is the gist. It's supposed to be a gist of this mantra. Already half the class is over, right? But at least you now understand. I want you to understand. The Siksha is not some, that word you know understand. Siksha is what? Phonetics. Okay, then Kalpaha, science of or know-how of Vedic, performance of Vedic rituals. Then Vyakaranam, again grammar, the science of building words from roots by putting prefixes and suffixes and prefixes and suffixes and so forth. There can be many prefixes and many suffixes also. Okay, then Siksha, Kalpo, Vyakaranam, Niruktam, etymology of Vedic words, Chandas, prosody, or I don't know how to translate it. Prosody, meter, the science of meters, maybe we can say that. Okay, prosody. And then Chandas, Jyotisham, Jyotisham, astronomy and astrology, the science of luminaries, celestial objects. And that was the Jyotisham was important for us because the timing is so critical. Timing is critical. You have to, anything you have to do, Rahu Kalam, Yamakandam, they will say all these things. All average people will tell you all this. Timing. In India, you have to be very careful. You can't do things any way you want. You better consult people. Consultation is critical. And otherwise, they will tell you, what is this you're doing like this? Then you will wonder, what? Sanikam Manike Pannakodadu. So you should not do it on a Saturday. Say, what? I'm here in India only for 2 weeks. You're telling don't do this on Saturday, don't do this on Monday. Means what? Only 2 days are left. So that's how it is. That's how this culture is. Anyway, let's go to the Bhaashyam. Okay. अथ
अथ
इदानीम्
इदानीम्
इयम्
यम्
इयम्.
इयम्.
Yeah, so there are many words there. Atha, idanim, iyam. That's the way to split this. Para vidya.
Para vidya.
Sorry, I think I'm reading.
Yes.
Next one.
Tatra ka, yeah.
Tatra kapa.
No, I went off to the other page in Gita Press. So then I'm wondering what happened. Okay. Tatra
Tatra
ka para iti uchyate.
ka. Is it apara or
Sorry,
apara?
ka apara iti uchyate.
Ka apara iti uchyate.
Good. Rig Vedaha.
Rigvedaha.
Yajurvedaha.
Yajurvedaha.
Samavedaha.
Samavedaha.
Atharvavedaha.
Atharvavedaha.
Iti
Iti
ete chatvarah vedaha.
yete chatvarah vedaha.
Shiksha kalpo vyakaranam.
Shiksha kalpo vyakaranam.
Niruktam chando jyotishamiti.
Niruktam chando jyotishamiti.
Angani
Angani
shad
said
yesha
yesha
apara vidya.
apara vidya.
Yeah. Tatra. Tatra means in this context where I have told you there is apara and paravidya. In that context, ka apara iti. Shankara is saying ka apara. What is apara iti? Prishtam ched. If it were asked, what is apara vidya? Uchyate. That is being said. Uchyate. Tatra ka apara iti uchyate. So many words are there. All right. What are they? Rigvedaha. So all the Rig mantra, if you put together, then that put together mantra, that whole consolidated text would be called Rig Veda. They are called Rig mantra. Rig mantra. So then Yajur Veda. All the Yajur mantra are called Yajur Veda. Together called Yajur Veda. Then Sama Veda. Sama mantra. That's how they call it. Sama mantras are all put together. Means the Samaveda rishis have given these mantras, and therefore you put all that together, it's called Samaveda. Mantras came first or Veda came first? What kind of question is this? Veda and mantra are together. Yeah, but mantras are coming. Many rishis have given mantras. Veda is not written by one rishi. It is not written by any rishi for that matter, but still contributed by many rishis. And therefore, all those sama mantras given by many rishis, if you put them together, it's called Samaveda. Applies to all Vedas. So, Atharva Veda. There's one rishi called Atharva Rishi. And so, this whole Atharva Veda is attributed to one rishi. Atharva Rishehe Proktaha Mantraha. All right. All right. Here also, no? Atharvaya Jeshtaputraya Praha. Brahma. Brahma is teaching Atharva. And maybe that's why this Atharva Veda is called after him. Amazing. Iti ete chatvaraha Vedaha. These are the four Vedas. These four, as we have listed, are the four Vedas. Then what? Shiksha, Kalpaha, nothing much to say now. Vyakaranam, Niruktam, Chandaha, Jyotisham, Iti, Angani, Shat. These are called Angas. Angas. Angas means, I told you what Anga is. Anga is a supportive science. Then what is the Veda called as? Technical word is Angi. That which is supported by others are called Angi. Core, central. Central. That is called Angi. These are all Angas. There is a technical word. Shat. Shat means six. Six Angas are there. Yesha Apara Vidya. This is Apara Vidya. Shankaracharya concludes there. And then, okay, now that. Yeah, Shad Yesha Apara Vidya. Let's read the next one now. Atha idanim.
Atha idanim
Iyam.
iyam
Para Vidya Uchyate.
para vidya uchade
Yaya.
yaya
Tad.
tad
Vakshyamana Visheshanam.
vakshyamana visheshanam
Aksharam Adhigamyate.
aksharam adhigamyate
Prapyate.
praptyade.
Okay, let's pause with that. Here they have put a semicolon in Gita Press. You may have a. Yeah, you have a full stop there. All right. So now the last, the Athapara, that portion of the Moolam is explained. Paravidya. So, Atha. Moolam has the word Atha. Shankaracharya says Idani. Idani means what? After having defined Aparavidya, or after having not defined, listed Aparavidya. Okay, I don't think we don't call it a definition, but at least listed. Iyam Paravidya Uchyate. This Paravidya is mentioned, is defined. Depending on the context, we can translate it that way. And he says, Yaya Tad Aksharam Adhigamyate Prapyate. That Aksharam, Yaya Vidyaya, you can say, that knowledge by which that Aksharam Adhigamyate was there in the Moolam. That Aksharam. See, the word that is a pronoun. Pronoun. You can't use a pronoun unless you have defined the noun, unless you have mentioned the noun. Only when you talk about Rama, then you can say he. Then only you can connect the he with Sri Ram. Here directly tad, without even mentioning what it is. Tad, that. That aksharam is there. But Shankaracharya says, okay, Shankaracharya is a bit alert. He's saying, Vakshyamana Visheshanam. Hey, Vakshyamana means to be told, which will be told. which is right way to translate is going to be told. Going to be told. Present, future. Not present, future. What am I saying? Future continuous. Future continue. I hope that is correct. Future continuous. Correct. These English words I am slowly losing out on these days. Present, future. Future continuous. Present continuous. Okay, present continuous. And then future continuous. This is future continuous. Going to be told. Going to be told aksharam. Adhigamyate. Okay, that is the way to read it. That going to be told imperishable entity, whatever you can put in brackets, vastu, aksharam, is going to be told. Is adhigamyate. That vidya by which the going to be told aksharam is understood. Adhigamyate, Shankaracharya says, prapyate. Prapyate. All right. That is called paravidya. Over. Very simple. Very simple. All right. Now let's read the next part. Adhipurvasya.
Adhipurva.
Rukminiji, your turn.
All right. Yeah.
Sorry. Adipurvasya
Gamehe.
gamehe
Prayashaha.
prayashaha
Praptyarthatvat.
praptyarth praptyarthatvat
Nacha.
nacha
Parapraptehe.
parapraptehe
Avagamarthasya.
avagamartasya
Vedaha asti.
vedaha asti
Avidyayaha.
avidyayaha
Apayaha eva.
apayaha eva
Hi.
hi
Parapraptihi.
parapraptihi
Na arthantaram.
na arthantaram.
Yeah. Adhigamyate means understood. That by which the aksharam is understood. Adhigam is understood. But how can you say adhigam is equal to prapyate? Is obtained. Prapyate means obtained. That by which aksharam is obtained. Two different meanings, no? Understood is understood, understanding. Buddhi mein hai. Obtained means I got something. They are really two different meanings. Okay, different words which have different meanings. And so Shankaracharya is on a roll here. He's explaining why did I say what did he say? Prapyate for adhigamyate. That's what he's saying. Adhigamyate full stop would have been fine. But he puts prapyate and he explains why he put prapyate there. Okay, obtained. Okay. So he's saying, see, I got something. I obtained. I received something. I obtained a degree. I obtained the bachelor's degree. Or somebody says, you obtained bachelor's degree, but you worked for it. You worked a lot for it. Okay. Okay. Adhigamyate, understand. Prapyate. Let's compare the two. Prapyate. Prapyate means gaining. I got something. So, especially, suppose I say, I know how to go to Anikatti. Anikatti is a village where this ashram is, where we went 2 weeks ago. Okay. All of us were there. And so now I know. Knowing how to go to Anekatti is not equal to going to Anekatti. You can know how to go to Anekatti, but that knowledge is of no use to you. Knowledge of anything. I know how to make Mysore Pak. Knowledge of making Mysore Pak has nothing to do with getting Mysore Pak. Prapti. Mysore Pak Prapti will not happen. Only Prapti that will happen is some saliva will come in the mouth. That Prapti you can get by thinking of Mysore Pak. Correct? Some of you at least. That is the maximum Prapti you can get. So like this knowledge is all like this. Tell me which knowledge. If you know that, so you got it. It's not possible. It's not at all there. Nothing. None. You feel like eating dosa. Now it is breakfast time. You think of dosa. I know how to make dosa also. But I don't have time to make dosa. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's exactly the problem. And so, therefore, knowledge of making dosa will not get you dosa. There's a lot of work behind it. Okay. That is why the traditional homes and all those days. So the husband and wife are married, and then after some time the wife goes to her mother's home. This is a traditional example. And so goes to mother's home. Then he uh, he can't think of dosa to get dosa. That is not possible. He knows it very well. He knows it very well. And that's why he calls her. And then all pleasing words. Honey, when are you going to come back? Are your parents okay? Your brother is also fine. Did he visit you? All this nice talk is happening. Hey, you did not think about my family even for 1 second in the last 2 years. Okay. Suddenly all this great language is happening. What is going on? Where is this love and affection? Where is it coming from? When are you coming back? This fellow is famished. He's not. He's going to the hotel. Last 2 weeks, he's tired. Only then he realizes that somebody is needed to make a house into a home. You need somebody there. That somebody is missing, and so if knowledge of dosa will get me dosa, then this guy is not going to make the call at all, and therefore that is that's a well known. It is well known. Okay, and so how can you say knowing Brahma is same as attaining Brahma? How is it possible? That is the discussion here. The significance of the word, Shankaracharya's word, praptehe or praptihi, prapyate, and he's explaining it. And so that answer is coming in these sentences. The answer is what? Hey, correct. This is the beauty. This is why we are studying the Shastram. There are a few exceptions to that rule that you are quoting, my dear friend. Correct. Knowing something, it does not mean getting something. Knowing something, then you have to work hard to get that something. That is the norm. That is really the norm. But do you remember I told you the example of Kuchu and his glasses? Have you forgotten that? Okay. And tell me now, Kuchu is searching for his glasses. Okay. He's been working very hard to get his glasses. And he's frustrated and he's anxious and he's screaming at everybody. Okay. And then at some point, he came to know something. He came to know something. What did he come to know? The Shabda, Veda Vakyam, Veda Vak came from his son or daughter. And then he came to know that, hey, your glasses are right there on your head. And then what happened? Knowledge happened or not? It is all pure knowledge. Knowledge, because previously he didn't know, now he knows. When he knows something, and did he get his glasses or not? What will he say? Yeah, if somebody asks, the neighbor asks, hey, you are looking for your glasses. Did you get your glasses or not? Yeah, I got my glasses. He will hide the fact. He will hide the fact that it was right there with me all the time. But he will say, I got my glasses. Correct? Which choose example. There what? The knowledge of the glasses being on me is equivalent to getting the glasses. That is the thing. With Brahma Vidya, that is the crux. And therefore, I can use the word praptihi. Knowing is equal to gaining. in certain instances, like the Kuchu example, glass example, or Dashamaha. There is a story of the 10th man. They call it 10th man story. How many of you have heard of 10th man story? Yeah, some of you know it, half of you know it. 10th man story. I will tell it another day. I mean, the point has been made here. And so, because the distance between me and Brahma is zero. Zero. There's no distance at all. So therefore, in that case, knowledge is equivalent to gaining. So Brahmavida apnoti param. Taittiriya Upanishad. Brahmavid apnoti param. The guy who knows Brahmavid, the person who knows Brahma, not Brahman. Okay, he said, please use Brahman instead of Brahma. Okay, so Haraprasad. So the person who knows Brahman gains everything. Brahmavida apnoti param. Param means everything. How can you get already dosa itself? You can't gain by knowing. We said. Now this guy says, you know Brahma, you get everything. Yes, it is possible. Only here it is possible. Okay. And so that's the idea here. So let's look at Adhipurvasya Gamehe Prayashaha Praptyarthatvat. Okay, saying that
Daddy?
is
Daddy?
okay. Adhipurvasya Gamehe. Gamehe means what? This gam dhatu is there. That is referred to in Sanskrit as gami. And then of that gam dhatu. Because adhigamyate, that is gam dhatu. This is the technical word he's saying. So that gam dhatu, gamehe. And when you prefix it with adhi purvasya gamehe, the gam dhatu, when prefixed with the prefix adhi, prayashaha praptyarthatvat. Hey, in many cases, prayashaha, it can mean attainment, it can mean gaining, obtaining. Okay, that meaning is there. Okay, in in some occasions, prayashaha, it's not totally alien to us. Like that is saying, nacha parapraptehe avagamarthasya cha bhedaha asti. But then he's saying that also is there. But I'll tell you, if parapraptehe, when it comes to gaining of this Brahma prapti, paraprapti is Brahma prapti. Paravishya we are talking about, Brahman we are talking about. And so when it comes to this paraprapti, there is no difference between understanding and gaining. I think you understand that. Understanding is gaining. Brahma vid apnoti param. The knowledge of Brahma is equivalent to gaining Brahma. That's what he's saying. Parapraptehe, then avagamarthasya. Avagama means what? Jnanam. So that knowledge, okay, knowing and getting, there is no bhedaha, no difference. Na asti bhedaha. There is no difference between knowing paravastu and getting paravastu. That is the meaning of this sentence. Okay. Avidyayaha apayaha eva hi parapraptihi na arthantaram. So avidyayaha apayaha. Hey, in this case, this avidya is going to come into play because knowledge means, what is knowledge? Avidyayaha apayaha is knowledge. What is apayaha? Removal, elimination, okay, departure, destruction, disappearance. That is the meaning of apaya. So avidyayaha apayaha, removal of ignorance alone is called parapraptihi, is Brahma praptihi, Atma praptihi. Atma is right here. There is no question of getting Atma or getting Brahma. Therefore, removal of ignorance alone is parapraptihi, na arthantaram. There's no other meaning. There is no other meaning to prapti in this case. Prapti means knowing. That's it. The only way you can get moksha is by knowing. Moksha is knowing Brahman. That's it. That is what he's driving his discussion there. And so, okay, so that's the meaning here. See, apayaha. Apaya. So apaya can mean danger also. In some languages, apaya means danger. I don't know if it means Hindi also. I think it's like that. Maybe Marathi and all. It is like apaya.
Apayam.
Kannada also.
Harm.
Apayam.
Kannada also apaya.
Harm.
Harm. Correct. Harm. So here it doesn't mean that. Apa ayaha. Ayaha. So ayaha means this. Not ayaha. Apa I dhatu. I is in the sense of going. Ayati is in the sense of going. So like in Ramayanam. Ramasya ayanam. The story of Rama, movement means their story. The entire trajectory, life of Rama is called Ramayanam. The same that same dhatu is here also. Apayaha. If you put apa, then it means not going, but retrieving, extricating, removing. That is the grammatical meaning there for apayaha. Narthantaram. All right. Now, let's read the next line. Okay, I'll give you the introduction. So you can see the significance of prapti, adhigamyate, prapyate. So much discussion is there. I hope you see the significance of that discussion there. Okay. Nanu
Nanu
Rigvedadi.
Rigvedadi
Better to say it this way. Rigvedadi Bhaashyam.
Rigvedadi Bhaashyam
Tarhi
Tarhi
Sa Katham Paravidya Syat.
Sa Katham Paravidya Syat
Moksha Sadhanam Cha.
Moksha Sadhanam Cha.
Right. Let's pause with that. So, now Nanu. Nanu means what? A guy is coming. A Purva Pakshi has come and is raising an objection. I have an objection to everything that has been said so far. Okay. He is not worried about this adhigamyate, prapyate and all. He is saying, look, you have said Rigveda is aparavidya. You said Samaveda is aparavidya. All four Vedas you have put under the category of aparavidya. Okay. Then what is left? Paravidya is left. But I thought Paravidya is Upanishad, and Upanishad is there in the Vedas only. It is not outside the Vedas. So you are talking about something which is outside the Veda. Veda Bhahyaha. Rigvedadi Bhahyaha you are talking about. You are talking about something that is outside the Vedas. In a Vedic culture, if you talk about something outside the Vedas, it may be useful for certain things, but finally, for our life, it is useless. It is useless. Absolutely useless it is. So, Katham Paravidya, sir, how can you even talk about Paravidya, that Vidya, which is what is going to give me moksha, moksha sadhanam cha, Paravidya, which is supposed to give me moksha. It's a means to moksha. How can you say it is something that is outside Rigvedadi can be Paravidya? How can I accept that statement? It's not possible. Buddha talked about a particular Buddhism and he rejected the Veda. Buddhists are not Vedika people. They are Nastikas. Nastika means who don't consider the Veda as Pramanam. Buddha may be a great guy, but the one fatal mistake he made is that he said Veda is not a Pramanam. And therefore, Buddhism may be there. Some people may follow Buddhism. But in India, Buddhism will not catch on. Not possible. Because Karma Bhumi is Veda Bhumi. Nobody is an enemy to us, but Buddhism cannot become big in India. Not possible. Unless you eliminate the Veda, Buddhism cannot come. Jainism also is like that. They're all like that. There may be Jains, everything. There are people who follow all this. But Jainism is a Nastika Vidya. And therefore, how can the average Vedika accept that Paravidya can be outside the Veda? Correct? Now, I hope you understand the question. Understand the question. You Veda, you're saying Aparavidya. And then quietly you're saying Yaya Tad Aksharam Adigamyate. And so I have a problem with that, he says. Right? It's a good objection. So, Nanu Tarhi means in that case, in that case, in the way you have listed this Aparavidya and Paravidya, Tarhi, then in that case, then Rigvedadi Bhahyaha. Sorry, not Bhahyaha. I'm sorry. It must be Bhahya only. Bhahya. That Vidya, which you are calling as Paravidya, it is Rigvedadi Bhahya. It is outside Rigveda. Sa means what? Sa Paravidya. Sa Katham Paravidya Syat. How could that be? How could you call it as Paravidya? And on top of that, you are saying it is Moksha Sadhanam also. Paravidya is Moksha Sadhanam. And so how could that be? If it is Naraka Sadhanam, I can understand. For us, anything that is outside Veda is Naraka Sadhanam. Why? Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. Dharmartha Kama. Especially if I don't have Dharma in my hands, Artha and Kama will only take me to Naraka. Because I'll be constantly in this cycle. There's nothing to guide me to come out of this cycle. Therefore, Naraka Sadhanam it is. It can't be Moksha Sadhanam. Outside the Veda. Okay, that is what he's saying here. And so, that's a line of thinking here. Keep that in mind when we come back and continue this discussion. Okay. He's going to quote, there's some nice discussion that comes here. So it gives us, all this discussion gives us a panoramic view of our culture itself. Correct? How this whole culture is designed, envisioned, and what the Shastram has in its mind for us. All that we understand by these kinds of discussions. We'll pause with that. Apadamapahartaram dataram sarvasampadam lokabhiramam shriramam bhuyo bhuyo namamyaham. Kale varshatu parjanyah prithvi sasyashalini deshoyam kshobharahitah brahmanas santu nirbhayah. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
धन्यवादः
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 जयकुमार जी
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಜಯಕುಮಾರ್ ಜಿ.